Am I as cute as Ilya Kavoon? He's a swimmer. I'm a she, her, hers of Seattle. Tanis Leonhardi. And these are my movie notes on the 2010 film The Fighter. And this is for my 3 April 2024 viewing, which is today, the day I'm filming this. I watched it all the way through. I did take a break and go get some orange juice. And I paused it when I took my break. Kind of thing. And yeah. And then intermission, and then came back and finished it. And now I'm going to do my movie notes for this viewing. So here's the disc. Here's the case. It's I rented it from the King County Library System. And let's see, is that the introduction I need? Yes, so I'm trying with these to come up with my own description of what the movie is about. Let's see how I'm paying attention, that kind of thing. So my description for this film is, it is a biographical film about two brothers in the sport of boxing, and the transition from the older brother being the superstar boxer in the family to the younger brother taking off in his boxing career. And I think that kind of perfectly encapsulates what this movie is about. So the younger brother, Mickey Ward, this is based on a true story, and the older brother is Dickie. So Dickie and Mickey Ward. And it really is about family. And do I remember when this movie came out? No! I was a full-time college student working with multiple employers. And my sports fixation at the time was running. So, and I was in a bit of a push in 2012, got under the 5-minute mile mark, which was big. So it was myself as coach and stuff. So this kind of missed my radar entirely. Now, I did not actually hear about this movie until, like, that it existed from anybody until I think it was like 2011, like the end of 2011. Yeah. So it was like, and then I introduced it into my viewing history for my eyeballs, so to speak, somewhere between 2014 and 2018. So it was like, okay, what kind of when I heard about it. I did not have it described to me in terms of the family dynamics, which is really what this entire movie is about. It's documenting a family's journey. And as a second-born, the most common birth child, so to speak, is the firstborn. And everybody, and then the next most common is second-born, next most common is third-born, that kind of thing. So I gotta go through that. So I'm a second-born. I have only one sibling, an older sibling. And so when I did get around to watching this, and something that came up in watching this now is, I'm very appreciative that Hollywood did actually go after something that's not a firstborn, because that is so still, like, society still pushes firstborns as, like, you know, the second coming of Jesus Christ, and everybody else is worth nothing. I'm like, you know what? I like this movie. He's a second-born, just like me, Mickey Ward. So Mickey Ward in this one is played by Mark Wahlberg, so the second-born, and then the firstborn is played by Christian Bale. And so I really appreciate that, the perspective, and I still do. I've seen this movie a number of times, and I still appreciate, thank you. This is like, it was part of, I'll call it like a woke decade of Hollywood, where they made like actually good movies. It was like 2002 to 2012-ish. And then it like really just went down the tubes and still is just down the tubes. And I'm like, I haven't been to a movie in a movie theater since what, like 2019? It's not 2024. That kind of thing. So yes. Yeah. So this is a kind of a throwback movie in that sense of back when Hollywood, it comes and it goes. Not that it doesn't try to make woke movies, it just doesn't achieve it. It's not at the Hollywood standards, so to speak. And so this was part of that, like, woke decade of good movies, and, like, as of when they're released. And, yes, so appreciative of the second brother angle, and that they chose to highlight a story like this, and this story. I'm not gonna get, this viewing was definitely kind of more about the sibling dynamics and family dynamics. when I've watched this, it's a really great movie to watch, because what I think about and take away from the movie very much changes based on where I am in my life. Like when I was thinking of travel and setting up a particular heritage travel trip series in the past, and I was watching this, which I bought the tickets for, but like the first trip that I've already executed back in July 2019. I bought the tickets in 2018. It was August 2018, and I'd been thinking about it before that. So this actually was like, I'm Irish, part Irish stuff, but I'm not going to put this in any of those playlists for the Heritage Travel Trip series, because that's not my takeaways this time. I'm just making a note of in the past, so that is factored in more when I'm viewing. So this is what I'm trying to say here is my movie notes and my viewing notes are actually different. This is a very rich, wealthy, well, not rich, because rich is usually just the dollar sign, right? So it doesn't have any like moral character to it. So this is a very wealthy movie in the sense of I can watch it from different perspectives and have completely different takeaways. So it's a sign it's a good movie. In terms of like actually thinking of returning to boxing, this is also a great movie. This is the guy, Mickey Ward, has a very, very, very non-mainstream fighting style. And so if one wants to take into account true diversity in boxing style, this is an absolute essential in the sport of boxing. So from that, again, I'm proud I'm Irish, and this is one of those movies, so there's like a takeaway here, but like, they're at least part Irish by ancestral origins. And so, like, I'm not going to put those in the playlist. I'm trying to cut that down on that stuff. So proud. And it's coming from kind of, my dad worked for Boeing, and Washington State was very aerospace, and like this land used to be William Boeing's and stuff. I have not worked in the aerospace sector, and so neither me nor any of my soulmates have ever been involved in the aerospace industry, aerospace enterprise. None of us have. And this is, it matters because it's like a showcase of like true humanness is how I would say this. And so I remember seeing this back when I introduced it into my viewing history, so to speak, and just being like, this is such a breath of fresh air, right? They're not out there pounding each other to modern music or modern technology. It's really just about human like prowess, and there's so much respect for the fighting style and like how that resonates with me, whereas like a lot of modern boxing doesn't, kind of thing. So I really respected that, and really respect it still. So there we go. I am Tanis Leonhardi, she, her, hers of Seattle. This is my movie notes on The Fighter 2010 film, 3 April 2024 viewing.